What's good with it, y'all? What's good with it? Welcome back to A1 Hoop Zone. Man, y'all already know what to do. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Appreciate you. So let's go ahead and get into it, man. We all saw the breaking news that took place late last night. Luka Doncic being traded to my Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis. And it's a lot to cover. So y'all listen to the entirety of this video, man. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get the cooking on this. So y'all stay locked in with me on this. So right out the gate, man. Probably one of the biggest trades that we've done seen the last decade or so. A player that's either in or about to enter his prime in Luka Doncic, a franchise player, a player that has spent his entire 7 or 8 seasons with the Dallas Mavericks, and in the middle of the night, man, that they shipped him off to the Los Angeles Lakers for again another extremely immensely talented player, a unicorn type player, and Anthony Davis that can guard 1 through 5, play both ends of the ball equally as well. An absolute beast and monster within his own right. Obviously, NBA champion as well. And Anthony Davis. Again, a player you can say he's either in his prime now or entering, because again, AD is he's not old. He's still pretty young as well. He's definitely been in the league for quite some time now, but still entering to the point now where he's kind of getting into that perspective of, like, he understands the game is slowed down for him, and now he can control and take advantage of mismatches and things of that nature. So it essentially it was a swap of two elite players, right? Now, seeing everywhere across the board, everybody, the mass media outlets is giving the Dallas Mavericks an F for this trade, giving the Lakers an A, and things of that nature. I'm gonna say this, man. So I think they giving them an A for that because they literally looking at it from the perspective of giving the Lakers some airtime. And what do I mean by that? With the ratings being down, what is the biggest franchise or most watched franchise, or one of the most historical franchises in the NBA? It's the Lakers, man. Anytime the Lakers are doing good, I'm sure ratings are up because it's the purple and gold show, man. You know what I mean? Back in the Magic days and stuff like that, man. So anytime they're doing good, you're gonna have more viewership to some degree. People hate it or love it. That's just, hate to say it, that's the truth. Now with a shakeup and a trade of this magnitude, it had to be with the Lakers. It had to be with the player swap, or a player going to that team to make a huge splash. Why? Storyline of the Lakers. You got LeBron there still, so now people are looking at the fact of everything that goes on with that. And I'm gonna be pinning stuff up all throughout this video for y'all, man. As y'all, LeBron giving the love to AD his way up out the door. I'm gonna throw that on the screen for y'all. Y'all can see that now. Reports coming out saying LeBron was caught off guard and all that type of stuff. Man, I don't believe that. That's cap, bro. Any transactional point that takes place, whether if he likes to know it or not, he's made aware of any trade scenario, trade situation that's taking place and happening. Again, whether if he likes it or not, he's aware of it. So for them to say they were blindsided and unsure, didn't know, that's cap. But either way, I think it's a genuine love for them. But at the same time, bro, we saw, LeBron is he's almost in line with the business, doing what's best for the organization type of decision making. You know what I mean? And what do I mean by that is organization and teams are always going to do what's best for them, no matter who it is that the player they have. They're going to always do what's best for the organization and team because the organization and team is always going to outlive the player's career. You know what I mean? You got LeBron who's entering what? He's been in the league for 20 plus years, right? Any franchise he's played on is going to outlast his career longevity. A lot of these teams have already been in the league for over 40 years and things of that nature. So again, you're going to have situations where you're going to have players that's definitely gonna play a lengthy amount of time, but that organization is still going to be there afterwards. So for them, he's getting to that point, again, making decisions where it's getting them to win a championship or compete for a championship. You know what I mean? For the Lakers in this decision making, man, I think he was made aware, but they pulled the trigger themselves because it was one of those kind of trade scenarios that you couldn't say no to. Meaning you're getting younger, getting an international superstar in Luka Doncic, who is younger than AD, just as good as AD. Obviously, AD is a better defensive player, but at the same time, Luka puts butts in seats, man. Luka show is real. Luka magic is real. The hype is real when it comes to this player. And you saw that reaction for players across the league, man. It was a widespread reaction, different points of people just in complete shock at the fact that Luka got dealt to the Lakers, man, and AD being dealt to the Mavs. Absolute shock. Never thought they would see that day coming or anything like that, especially not now. KD said it best when he said he did not expect to hear or see Luka being traded at this point in his career. So again, and I'm gonna throw this on the screen for y'all, man. Luka's heartfelt message to the Maverick faithful, letting them know his aspiration and time he spent there and things of that nature, man. So again, it was reported he did not request to be traded. This was something that the Dallas Mavericks front office GM did. Sounds like Jason Kidd wasn't even aware of it until it happened. Looking at them doing their interview, it was a weird situation. You know what I mean? Prior to the game, when he was saying, they were going to have seven. Jason Kidd was announcing they're going to have 7 players out, and obviously, if y'all didn't watch that game, the Mavs versus the Knicks, man. They it was like 144 to no, it was the Cavs. I'm sorry, the Mavs versus the Cavs. It was like 144 to 101. Yeah, they got the doors blowed off them, but when you got 7 players out, that's gonna tend to happen. But nonetheless, man. So again, they called Jason Kidd off guard. You see how he was kind of handling it and things of that nature. But him and AD won a championship together when they won in the bubble. Jason Kidd was a part of that coaching staff, so he's very familiar with AD, very comfortable with him, and knows his game, knows what he likes, things of that nature. So there ain't too much there. But for Luka, it's gonna. He said it in 2018. LeBron, or what was it? LeBron's one of his favorite players. Or prior to that, LeBron, shared that same admiration as well about wanting to play with Luka, which is why I think Kyrie was trying to get LeBron to come to Dallas and things of that nature, man. But it just didn't pan out. But he said he wanted to play with him, and guess what? It came to fruition. It's happening now. Um, for AD, man, again, I think the beat goes on, and again, I'm going back to this because they gave the Mavericks an F for this trade. I believe it's not an F. There, I agree with a part of what the GM said when he said that we're built to win now and for the next few years, winning and compete for a championship. I believe that because you're allowing AD to play in his natural position because you have a Lively there, you have what's my man's name, Gafford there, so you got 2 bigs that are rim runners and have the ability to guard other fives, which would allow AD to play the 4. And when he does that, you're going to have a situation where you're not going to have another forward that's going to be able to do anything with AD or handle him in any type of capacity. And so it will also allow AD to play help ball defense, which is something he's extremely good at as well. It also will allow him to be able to go up against Nikola Jokic and say that Celtics make it back Porzingis. It'll allow them to be able to go up against those fives when he has to in spurts at the clutch moments and put his defensive athleticism ability on full display with him not being hampered or tired from playing the full game at being at the 5. Not having to do all that banging all game long. With Lively and Gafford, it's going to allow for Anthony Davis to be much more fresher down the line, whether clutch moments or potentially in the playoffs. A lot of people are overlooking that, man, and allowing him to be able to do that. You're going to see a different Anthony Davis. You're definitely going to see one that's much more motivated. I'm going to put this on the screen for y'all because Dwight Howard kind of had me laughing when he said, and bro, he asked for a big and he got traded to where bigs are. Like, it's a cold world. Again, if anybody would know it best out of anybody, man, Dwight Howard knows it's a business at the end of the day, right? So again, when you look at these players, man, and you look at what was right there in front of them, Anthony Davis, I believe, has a good spot of where he's at, coaching staff wise, player wise, player personnel with Kyrie, Clay, PJ Washington, again, Gafford, Lively. The rest of those guys there, man, they got a solid squad. Remind y'all, man, they just went to NBA Finals last year, right? Only thing they did was get rid of obviously the one of the biggest 1-2 punch, if not the number one of the team, and they brought in another player. Now again, you got people saying this is a team full of twos, meaning all these people don't know how to be leaders. They don't know how to be the one of the team. But for me, it's like, I mean, if you are able to construct this and put it together, bro, like it's gonna be a thing where it has the ability to be extremely dangerous for other teams because it's gonna allow the Mavericks to be able to play a multitude of different facets of basketball that people are overlooking, bro. So I think for me, that them getting an F was a terrible grade for it. If you put a grade on it, man, they at least got to be a B minus, if not a B or B plus. They give the Lakers an A because again, the Lakers are getting a younger player, a franchise player who's younger, what 25, 26. And if he resigns, you got him for the next 5 to 10 years before he starts entering into a prime period. You know what I mean? But again, Luka has a lot of mileage on that body. Again, the Mavericks pulled the trigger on wanting to go ahead and was okay with trading him because they had, they're coming out saying they had issues with his conditioning and health and injury history and being injury prone and things of that nature and stuff like that. Obviously, he was coming up due for a supermax deal, which was like was a 5 year, $300+ million contract. The Mavericks wasn't willing to buy in on it. They didn't believe in his conditioning. What he brought to the table wasn't good enough, or maybe it just was the conditioning and injuring and the fact that he maybe not taking it as serious as they would hope for a player of that with that type of talent at that age. They wasn't willing to pull the trigger and do it. I think a lot of that also they looked over at the Zion Williams situation, not to throw him under the bus or anything like that, but I think they looked at that situation and they said, like, we're not going to be stranded or stuck in something like that. Like, Zion didn't get no supermax, but at the same time, he got enough money where it's like, it's kind of holding the Pelicans hostage because the fact that they invested so much into him, they don't want to give him up, and then kind of look like the not so smart kind of franchise. So they hold on to him for the time being, at least. And so the Dallas Mavericks said, no, if you're not going to take these things more seriously into consideration and do what we want, okay, we're gonna move on from your services, and we'll take another player that we know is gonna give us everything he has and then some, and is a proven champion in Anthony Davis. So that's why I think they were much more comfortable in pulling the trigger to do it and not worrying about being 300 million in the hole or something like that. I will say Mark Cuban is probably I'm gonna take a word from my brother Everything Boxing. Mark Cuban is probably biting blood out of his bottom lip right now that he sold the majority of his ownership of that team, because I don't think he would have made that trade. Me personally, I don't think he would have did it because he loved Luka as a player and things like that. It's a situation where I don't think he would have did it. Just like back in the day when Cole was, trying to make it over to the Mavs and things like that, man. Like, it didn't pan out, it didn't happen. But I don't think Mark Cuban would have did that trade at all. But back to Luka and his conditioning, man. So that's something the Lakers are gonna have to definitely be trying to keep an eye out on. Luka's conditioning, Luka's health, things like that. I will say one thing that the Mavericks did do. I would say it was a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. Bad thing being they got rid of a franchise player and they pointed out what the issues was as far as kind of alluding to why they did it. Good thing is for Luka is this allows for him to, if he didn't already have a motivation or a flame under his ass to get locked in and get serious about this, guess what? That just happened. And a lot of people are going to overlook that, man. They're going to overlook the fact that he's going to lock in from a standpoint where, bro, like, it's going to give him extra motivation to, first off, prove the Dallas Mavericks wrong. Secondly, take it out on the league. But thirdly, just show, like, bro, this is what y'all gave up. This is what y'all gave up. Y'all gave up. Y'all gave up on me. I'm gonna show y'all and give y'all everything that y'all thought I was gonna be, and I'm gonna show you how you made a mistake. Again, he definitely had a heartfelt message. I put that on the screen earlier for y'all. He had a heartfelt message for what I'm saying, for the Dallas Mavericks fans and organization and stuff like that. But there's always a flip side to that. When you trade somebody and you cause pain, guess what? They looking to inflict pain just as well, especially in sports when you are competitive. They looking to do the same thing. He looking to return that favor tenfold. So y'all, hey, everybody, mark that game on the calendar, man. When they link up and play again, expect Luka to put up some monstrous numbers. And guess what? Right on the flip side of that, expect AD to do the exact same thing. Because AD was blindsided by it as well about the fact of being traded. But then again, he probably wasn't. It probably was conversations because both players have been sitting out. I know Anthony Davis had set out and he was rooting, saying, sending messages to the team when they was playing against the Knicks, saying tough, gritty win in the Garden and things like that. But I'm pretty sure, man, Rich Paul made him aware that, those conversations were being had, because you don't pull the trigger on a trade of that magnitude within hours. That's not something you do. Right. So you got a lot of, I wouldn't say narratives, but you got a lot of people that's coming out having a ton of opinions on this. And a lot of people are overlooking the fact that both teams won from this, from a business organizational standpoint and from a player personnel standpoint. AD has a lot to give. He is having a hell of a season thus far. Injuries are a part of the game. It's going to happen. When he's not hurt on the court, out of this world basketball player. Same thing with Luka Doncic. Luka single-handedly, we saw, man, the Phoenix Suns. And speaking of the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker was trolling them back. And I'm gonna put that on the screen right here for y'all. Trolling them back when they were saying, okay, we're serious. Only one more or something along them lines. And Devin Booker said, they wasn't joking when they were saying that they, the meme of when Luka Doncic was staring in Devin Booker's face and kind of smiling at him because, you know what I'm saying? He single handedly put the Phoenix Suns out of the playoffs. That boy was on a mission and he did it to him multiple times. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by when I say like, the league right now is not in shambles, but in absolute shock and awe right now at the fact of that trade taking place. And they understand the type of player that Luka is because what Luka has single handedly done to teams and franchises in the short amount of time he's been in the league, bro. Like him locking in and LeBron showing him the way as far as how he takes care of his body, what he invests on his body, and the type of work he puts in the offseason. I guarantee you Luka's going to be right there with him to kind of see it all firsthand and take note from it, and it's going to be up from there. A locked in, engaged, healthy, conditioned Luka is going to, man, y'all ain't seen nothing yet, bro. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. And the Lakers, we not done. We targeting another bigs. A lot of people thinking it's over with. It's not over with. We target another bigs. We gonna get another big there. It ain't gonna be no big to replace AD, but as long as you can get a big enough name, somebody that ain't terrible, but can come in and hold down the fort a little bit and play a little bit, we good. We got a lot of 6'7" plus, taller guys that can switch on defense, that are 3-and-D guys, things of that nature, man. So we solid from that point. But it's gonna be there's gonna be a hell of a, cross to the finish line of the situation of trades, and it's crazy because the trade deadline, there's still some days left in the trade deadline, bro. Like, and people like it's a lot of pieces happening, a lot of pieces moving, and things going on. So again, the Lakers definitely won. I would say won the trade by getting younger, having more longevity. Who cares about that 2029 first round draft pick when you got a player that's only 25, 26 years old? And by the time, 4 years from now, he's just gonna be pushing 30. So it's like, that draft pick ain't gonna mean nothing because you got Dalton Connect there, who they're kind of hanging some stuff, hanging some future hopes on. You got Austin Reeves still there as well, young player. So, bro, you got a couple of guards that's young that's still gonna be there. Obviously, there's gonna be moves that's gonna be made for other player personnel as far as wings and bigs and things like that, but the Lakers is in a good spot, bro. They in a good spot. And the same thing with the Mavericks. The Mavericks is in a good spot as well. They still got players that's still young enough for the next 3 to 4 years where they're gonna be able to do something. And if they can't, they're gonna make some moves and some changes and bring in some players that's gonna be able to help. But a lot of people sleep on this, bro. A lot of people sleep on it. A lot of people just kind of thinking it's a one-sided thing and that's it. And that's how it's gonna be. Again, both of these players are history prone or injury history prone and they miss time. That is a fact. But at the same time, both of these players also have the ability to be able to now, I would say better, more so than ever, be able to kind of get themselves right, get themselves healthy, and play either more of a natural position or not play as much as far as where everything the onus is on them to carry every single aspect of the load and doing things of that nature. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I cannot wait and see how this plays out and how it unfolds with all the two trades that just happened and then everything surrounding it, how they're gonna use this as motivation, how they can lock in from that point. But I'm telling y'all, man, this is something that was I had heard a little bit about it prior to the trigger being pulled on it, but I didn't think it was absolutely true or possible. But I knew it was something that, the Dallas Mavericks, man, teams nowadays they're looking to move on, a day early instead of a day late. They don't want to lose Luka for nothing when they can get him for something. And we saw that they pulled the trigger and did that because if they'd have waited until next year and when they have no clue what Luka would have did, if he would have signed a Supermax, or if he would have signed it and said he wanted to be traded, or if he decided he didn't want to sign it, I'd be hard pressed to believe there's somebody that's going to pass up on $300+ million contract at that age instead of and testing the water and seeing if you can get $200 million contract somewhere else. That's a lot of money to leave on the table. Yeah, he could have recouped it, but that's still a lot of money to leave on the table. So it's one of the things, man. I cannot wait to see how this plays out, what other trades that take place and happens. But I think both teams won in this trade. It was one of them things where, it's tough because again, it's probably one of the craziest trades that took place in the last decade. But then again, like, it's a part of the business as well. You know what I mean? Heartfelt messages across the board because you got two players that probably have given everything to a franchise that they done had, and Anthony Davis helping bring another championship to the Lakers, and Luka Doncic, who's put on some historical performances for the Dallas Mavericks and took them to the finals as well, and deep playoff pushes and like that. He done did a lot for them at an extremely young age. So there's a lot more to come, man. A lot more to come. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. I'm welcoming any and all conversations about this. This is my reaction to it. Y'all let me know what y'all reaction to this is. How do y'all feel about the trade? Do y'all feel that there was a ripoff by either team, or who lost the trade, won it, whatever the case? Leave a comment in the comment section. I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of y'all. Again, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you wish to support the channel, you see that information right there at the bottom of the screen. It's in the description as well. Feel free to leave a super thanks. If you don't know what that is, 4 icons over to the right of the like button. See where it says thanks. Click that, and it'll walk you through the rest, man. But again, I appreciate y'all coming through. I'll be back at y'all to another one. With that said, we out of here. Y'all stay safe. Be blessed. We gone, y'all. Till next time.